This is Chapter 5 of my book, How to Sue the Government. Chapter 5 is Hire an Attorney or Represent Yourself. Your attorney cousin isn't going to help you sue the government. Few attorneys specialize in federal question jurisdiction. You're unlikely to find a local law firm with a federal question with a federal jurisdiction practice unless you live in Washington, D.C. Such law firms work with large corporate clients and bill $900 an hour, and a lawsuit will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. Now I'm going to talk about pro se. Pro se means for himself in Latin. It means that a person represents themselves in a court case without being represented by an attorney. A reason to represent yourself is that some attorneys will bill needless or frivolous motions to increase billable hours. Another reason to represent yourself is that some attorneys give bad advice. I've twice gotten calls from competitors whose attorneys gave them bad advice. So the Pareto principle says that if you know 20% of what an expert knows, you can do 80% of the expert's job. So every business manager should know the basics of business law, and everyone should know how to look up laws. Now I'm going to talk about when not to represent yourself. Chapter 2 was about legal research or finding the laws relevant to your case. If you find clear noncompliance with well understood laws, which is known as black letter law, filing pro se may make sense. But if in your case the laws are unclear or open to interpretation, or if the agency actions may or may not have been noncompliant with the laws, hiring an attorney may be necessary. Contrary to what you might think, the hard part of a pro se lawsuit isn't writing the boilerplate or filing court procedures. The clerk of the court will help you with the latter. The hard part is finding and understanding the laws. An attorney who knows the laws, including case law, will be able to work quickly and, more importantly, accurately. If you don't get the laws right, the judge will dismiss your case. Now I'm going to talk about court guides for pro se plaintiffs. Many courts have a free downloadable PDF guide for pro se plaintiffs. Go to your court's clerk of the court website, look for a pro se area. The guide should be there along with forms for pro se plaintiffs. The guides I've seen for U.S. district courts are only for diversity jurisdiction cases. U.S. district courts handle two jurisdictions. Diversity jurisdiction is someone suing someone else who is in another state when the claims are more than $75,000. The plaintiff and the defendant can be an individual, a business, or a state or local government, but not the federal government. Federal question jurisdiction is someone suing someone based on federal laws. That someone can be the federal government. Federal agencies are not residents of any state, so diversity jurisdiction doesn't apply. Federal question jurisdiction is different from diversity jurisdiction in many ways. This book is about federal question jurisdiction. Do not rely on a clerk of the court guide to diversity jurisdiction when writing your federal question jurisdiction case. Now I'm going to talk about free legal clinics. Law schools offer free legal clinics. From what I've seen, you can only apply once a year, usually in September when the school year starts. the law school then selects cases for their students to work on. Some nonprofits also offer free legal clinics. Call the clerk of the court or look at their webpage for free legal clinics in your area. These are usually good for landlord-tenant disputes, employee-employer disputes, family law, or other common legal issues. I doubt that anyone at a free legal clinic has experience with federal question jurisdiction. Now I'm going to talk about who files what pro se. So this chart shows that this is about cases filed in U.S. district courts, which includes both diversity jurisdiction and federal question jurisdiction. This chart is showing that about 75% of plaintiffs are represented by an attorney or a law firm, and about 25% are pro se. This chart shows that of the pro se cases in U.S. District Court, about 75% are from prisoner complaints, and about 25% are non-prisoners. This chart shows U.S. pro se cases in U.S. District Court filed by non-prisoners. Shows that the vast majority, or the largest portion, are civil rights cases. These are almost always color of law cases, which means a plaintiff alleging that their civil rights were violated while they were getting arrested. So that means that about 85% of pro se cases in U.S. district courts are prisoners or people getting arrested. Now, if we look at the rest of these, we'll see that most other pro se cases are diversity jurisdiction. In other words, don't involve the federal government. So that would be like bankruptcy, personal property, real estate, etc. What the lawsuits against the federal government are Social Security, taxes, and immigration. So this is showing that only 1,300 This is showing that 1,323 immigration cases were filed by a pro se plaintiff between 2000 and 2019. That comes out to what, about 65 or 70 cases a year. Now, what I'm not seeing are cases like my lawsuit against the National Science Foundation, in which an American sues a federal agency other than the Social Security Administration, the Internal Revenue Service, or the Citizenship and Immigration Service, pro se. So this leaves the question, are Americans universally content with the services and actions of the federal government? Does no American other than me have a grievance against a federal agency, or is something stopping Americans from suing federal agencies? That's the end of Chapter 5 of my book, How to Sue the Government. Look below the video for a link to buy my book on Amazon. Look for a button to watch the next video. And please click the subscribe button below the video so that I get a share of the revenue from the ads you've seen. I also have a Facebook page, How to Sue the Government, and I'm on X following the hashtag How to Sue the Government, and my website is howtosuethegovernment.com.